All right, welcome to another fun-filled, packed, exciting show, Altadena Talks. It looks like we are on our 81st episode. Since January 16th, we've been coming on here bringing you the real nitty-gritty with town halls and donation spots and resources and special guests. So without further ado, I'm Brian Bacchus, and you're not.
I'm Jamal Smith. Welcome again, as Brian said, to episode 81. We got a special guest today, Mr. Lionel Flowers. We're going to kind of kick right to it. I'm going to go ahead and get into his bio, and then Brian's going to do his stuff behind the scenes. So today's special guest, we're going to enjoy having you meet Lionel Flowers, who's a dynamic force in the fashion industry with over half a decade of experience helping models, designers, and photographers travel the globe for Fashion Week. Born and raised in Altadena, Lionel's journey began in sales, where he honed his skills selling everything from Electrolux vacuums and life insurance policies to Monavie juice, Gano coffee, and furniture. Now Lionel is channeling his passion for community and innovation into founding New Village, a nonprofit dedicated to empowering people to build more eco-friendly, disaster-resilient homes worldwide. With a special focus on making Altadena homes more fire-resistant, Lionel is committed to giving back to his hometown. As Chief of Marketing for Ever After Executive Events, he's currently spearheading the Together We Rebuild Eaton Fire Recovery, an event on May 10th at Friendship Pasadena Church, where over 250 attendees will unite to support families impacted by the Eaton fire with resources, workshops, and a community town hall. Lionel is actively seeking volunteers, donations, and media support to ensure the event's success and help Altadena rebuild, restore, and rise. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Lionel Flowers to the show.
Awesome. Great intro. I love it. How you guys doing?
Little claps and everything.
Yeah.
Woohoo! Yeah, all right.
I hear it right now in my ears. Awesome.
So welcome to the show, sir. I remember running into you at a few events. The last one being the benefit concert, Ashes to Anthems, and you be out there, bro. I be seeing you out there on the front lines. Every time I'm out there doing something, I run across you. So man. I say, man, we need to bring you on the show so you can spit your truth. So. Tell us a little bit about, how you got started in your door-to-door. Well, I don't even know if you was door-to-door.
I've done door-to-door. Now that you mention it, man, I've done door-to-door with, man, I worked so many sales jobs, so that name is escaping me right now. But
here's the question. Did you ever do Cutco? Cutco knives? Have you ever done Cutco knives?
I haven't done Cutco knives. And what's the other name? Don't they have a different name too? Like
what now?
You talking about Ronco? Ronco had a lot of stuff too today. So there's Shackley, Amway, Mary Kay, all that is like
I haven't done Amway or Mary Kay. I've done several MLM marketing sales teams. So I've done MLM a lot of. Run my own furniture business. So, but yeah, door to door. Yeah, I was doing door to door from here all the way to San Diego. So, but the name still eludes me. I got an award in that company for sales. But we were also doing fundraising for Dare. Actually, so you might have seen us back in the day before they kind of shut it down. We would sit in front of stores. And since I have a particular voice that projects people, I usually get people to stop and donate, and everybody.
Right. Yeah, that's a great marketing technique. I used to use it all the time. Talk loud, so if the person that's in front of you don't want it, everybody else might hear it.
Talk
and
loud.
Be confident.
Yeah, that's what people want. But definitely, so yeah, if I had a background in sales, insurance, like he said. what else? Of course, I've worked regular 9 to 5s too, but that's pretty much puts it in a nutshell. Yeah.
What's your connection to Altadena again? I know you're
born and raised, man. Born and raised, and dare I say conceived, but born, raised, conceived. So I got the triple threat. But yeah, so Altadena is definitely home. So the disasters was something that we've never seen before in the hundreds of years. So, and that's since the inception of Altadena.
Oh heck yeah! What was your experience with the fires? I mean, like, did you get a notification?
Man, I'll tell you this much. So the night of, at the time I was doing a graveyard shift at my job, and I called off. The power's out. You walk outside, you feel like Dorothy about to blow away, and I'm like, nah, I'm not going to work tonight. But they also say it's a fire, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do what I've never done before and go document this. So I get in my car and I start driving around, and I'm driving up below my Alta, and I got my phone out and I'm doing this, and I'm filming the fire, and I get all the way over to the east side. So I come down late, and then I don't know what street I made a left on. Made a left, I'm on the east side of Altadena, and then I'm parked in my car, and I'm like, wow, this looks, even though it's destructive, it looks beautiful. Like it's a nice night. Right. I'm filming them, taking pictures. Then I drive, I'm parked right there taking pictures. Then I drive a little bit further, and I found a group of people outside, and we're all just looking at the fire like it's a bonfire. So I hop out the car. It's about 12:15 at the time. We're outside chilling, watching the fire, thinking like, okay, here's another one. I guess every 5 years we get a fire, so
pretty much,
And I'm like, okay, well, let me go home, man. I can't be out here filming. There's no power out the house, so my phone's gonna die. I don't want that to happen. So I go back. I go to sleep. Okay, and I wake up, and I'm being told it's time to go. I'm like, man, what are you talking about, man? It's just a smoke in the air. And then I go outside.
That's what we thought.
That's what we thought. I go look down. I said, is that the neighbor's house on the corner on fire? I said, wow. Okay. Maybe I don't let me get out of here. So I hop in my car and I get out of there. But of course, before I leave, I say, you know what? Let me see where this fire is. I'm not about to leave where I live at and not know the fire is coming towards me. Right? So I go down and I start documenting some more. I go up Lincoln. Evidently, the fire didn't want to go on the other side of Lincoln. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm just gonna put that to the side.
That's the JPL secret force field.
Oh man, they didn't want to go past us. It didn't want to go past Lincoln. I'm not gonna say the landmark.
It spared Georges.
It spared Georges. It spared a lot of things. It took 25% of the Virginia out, but I guess the other side was on the Lincoln side. So I literally went all the way up to Lavinia. Checked it all out. I'm like, wow, there's not a lot of homes on fire over here. Come all the way back down. I'm going all the way down. I'm like, yo, it just kind of stayed but
What time was this about?
9 o'clock, 9, 10 in the morning.
In the morning. So you was there the same time I was there because I came back and I got off the freeway at Woodbury. I documented all the way coming back. It was a bright sunny day. When I got off at Windsor, it was looking like it was midnight, and it was 9 a.m. And I drove all the way up through Casitas and cut across Mountain View, went up Lincoln, and that's when I seen all the fires, houses on this side of Lincoln. And then went up to Avison, turned. I was trying to get back to my house because I had all kinds of stuff I left in there. Once I got on our street, I was like, the whole neighborhood's gone. I said, this is gone. And then I just sat there and went live and cried. And it was crazy. I never would have thought in my wildest dreams that would happen. So I feel exactly what you went through. We were both there at the same time.
Yeah, it was crazy. You know, they have to evacuate some. You know, Altadena has a lot of horses, so I'm seeing the horses being evacuated. I'm just like, yo, this is
It's serious when you see that, right?
Yeah, the old folks trying to get them in wheelchairs and bedriddens and stuff like that. That was the concern.
Yeah. So you said you were awakened in the morning. Was it a phone call? Was it a neighbor banging on your door?
A phone call. You know, while my battery, you know, still has some juice. So, but I was still in disbelief. So I didn't really believe that anything was going on.
Nobody did. No one did.
Nobody was. And then it wasn't like, yo, you know, your area, like down the street's on fire. You know, it was just like, you need to go. The police said.
Did you get any Amber Alerts?
I don't even remember that. I can tell you that much. You know, once you see a fire, you know, maybe I did. Probably I probably did it. I probably did it. I don't remember.
I don't think we didn't. I mean, the only reason why I knew about it was
the door. How about
I was in Arcadia, and there was signal over there. That's the only way I knew.
Yeah, I didn't get a doorbell ring. A bang on the door, it's time to go. I didn't get any of that. You know, I slept through it. And if I lived a block over, I would have been in it. So, and sleeping. So that's kind of in my mind. Like I would have just been asleep because I did not believe that it would come down that far. And to back that up, it never has in 150 years. Like I said,
there was no reason for you to expect that to happen.
Yeah,
none of us.
So did you do like everybody else and just take just a few things, expecting to come back a few hours later?
Yeah. I mean, there's not much you can really take. You can't take your whole home with you in a car. You don't, unless you have an RV sitting there or a huge truck. It's gonna be hard to move everything that you need. I think the main thing that I took was probably 1 or 2 pictures, but my books. You know, I didn't want. If I had to sit down somewhere and just be somewhere with nothing, I would want my books.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, some type of comfort. Let me at least distract my mind with it. You know,
I took my laptop and my hard drive.
Oh yeah, I definitely took my laptop. Now we're gonna say that's a portable interactive TV. So
right.
You got to take that at least. You know,
at least has the communication with the world.
And that's another thing. Like we definitely, and Altadena is a little bit different. Like I was, you know, I keep saying 150 years, but the reality is some of these homes are 100+ years old.
Mm-hmm. 110 and so, 1895 built.
Yes, you know,
the one across the street from the library. The McNally house that's diagonal from the Girl Scouts. That house was built by the guy that created the Thomas guy, and it was built in 1890. So these houses been around. His house was one of the first ones built there, and he had a rotunda at the top where you can see all the way to Catalina Island from there.
Wow!
And he called all his millionaire buddies. That's why you see all down Mendocino. Or Mariposa, all those nice homes on the other side of the lake. All his millionaire buddies, he called them up. Hey, come out here, man. We got the whole mountain top. We got the whole everything.
Exactly. And then they call it, and that's why they call it beautiful Altadena, man. You look down upon the whole city, and the energy out here is fantastic. You know, I think underneath all that energy, the history is that if the homes, you know, the fact that some of these homes were redlined and we didn't get a chance to remodel and this, that, and the third, let alone not having any disasters happen, being so close to a forest. And then you look at other cities that do have fires that have had disasters in the 60s and had to rebuild, like Pacific Palisades. You know, they automatically have to update their homes, you know, and these homes have that same energy. There's a lot of promises that were made to Altadenians that are originally from Long Beach. We're originally from Long Beach, and we migrated up here because of the Spanish conquistadors forcing us to go up here. So, and then later on, you know, as I guess society progressed, we were promised certain benefits that we never received. You know,
and what happens?
You said what?
I said that happens We don't get something that's promised to us.
Yeah. So let's put that together. We have homes that are 100+ year old homes. We weren't promised. We were promised things and never received it, right? And then and so that energy inside the home, your great grandparents' energy is still there. So a lot of times people don't realize why we kind of keep to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
So we keep to ourselves is because we know that lies have been promises have been broken. So we kind of want to do for self.
No, you started off right. Lies have been told.
lies have been told, and we don't, and that's kind of why we, as a community, we kind of like, where are you from? What do you want to do?
Yeah. That's a common question.
Do you know somebody in this city? Let me hear. We won't even do all that. We'll just listen to everything you have to say in this
and lies.
And so we're just at a crossroads where we do need help, but we need genuine help,
right.
And we need vetted help, because a lot of people are coming in and they're getting their insurance claims are like, okay, well, I need to make the architect plans for my new home, and the architect is charging a ridiculous amount per square foot, trying to take the whole insurance claim from the beginning.
He's just the architect.
And he's just the architect. He charged you 10 times the amount. And you should have some money left over, and you haven't even got to the point where you needed to build. So
right,
that's what we're going through right now, and it's going to be crucial that we have a group and team of people, which is being established right now, to vet everybody.
Right,
as far as the rebuild side, but yeah.
Well, that's what we do on our show. We had a couple of builders on, a few builders actually, all vetted by Tony. She will go and check your insurance, your general contractor's license, see if you have any complaints, see if you have an insurance bond. And we don't allow any builders like that coming on unless they went through the vetting process. And that's what we're proud of, because we want to be known as a trusted resource, not somebody who just throws any old thing out there. And, all of a sudden now we've lost the trust of the community, because the whole reason why we started this was because we're from this community. I've lived in this community for 50+ years, on and off. I've moved to different places, but I've always come back to my town. I've been here for the last 6 years, and I didn't want to go anywhere. I was comfortable, happy, go down to your neighborhood pharmacist, your neighborhood bar, your neighborhood restaurants. You don't have to leave to go anywhere. I don't even have to go down past Woodbury. There's too many places up there. You got the pizza joint over there off Allen and New York. You got Lake Street, got stuff up there. We starting to get some new Thai restaurants, and then here comes the fire.
Yeah, and Pizza Venice, man. I love that restaurant. It's
the Mexican restaurants that was right there. All of that. So, Taste Buds is on stale right now.
Exactly. And this is why we, it seems like the first phase is for the residents, getting their property cleaned up and, to the soil testing. And then it seems like the business recovery side, of course, it's a little bit slower, And in the group that I'm with right now, we're kind of like, okay, well, as soon as the residents are done and they're ready to reconstruct, when they start removing the debris from some of these businesses, there's, thinking about the dust that's going to be up in the air. Is that going to get onto the property? Is that going to slow down the process of construction? So there's a lot of things that are going on that have to be discussed. There is a group of people that actually meet, and I might as well just mention it, at the Elk Lodge from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Tuesday, that talk about these things.
Which Elk Lodge?
The one across from Northern Museum on Colorado.
Oh, okay.
Kind of where the Rose Parade.
By the Wells Fargo, where the Wells Fargo building.
Yeah. So, but we get together. It's the Eaton Canyon Collaborative. So, and talk about these things. I didn't.
So how's that been going? You guys, how many meetings have you had, and what has been accomplished?
I just started, but it's going great. It's growing. People are showing up, and then the idea of it is just to, when you get so big and you get organized, because I'm part of the rebuild, which is also the long-term rebuild group, right? So that group, once it's established within a city that had a disaster, goes to FEMA, right? I believe it's the case. I'm just learning this stuff, and just to let you know, if you guys are out there and you're like, I know nothing about construction, even when you start learning, you still don't know anything because it's so
much
apartments. Like if you would imagine a house being all built out of bricks, each brick is just a department of construction, a different one. So it's a lot, and this is why it's crucial to have people vetted, because if you don't know, you probably won't know if you don't study. But yes, it is going great. We're looking to believe we have one person out of the group that's a case manager from CORE, and they're looking for certain information. And an important part of a case manager is they're supposed to filter out all the different departments, okay? Because everybody can't do it. A construction guy cannot do architect. They can't design the plans. So everybody has to be separated, and then you have to have somebody that facilitates that. So yeah, it is going great.
Project manager over all of it.
Yeah, and there is a communication section too, there. So I would say definitely come check it out. There's a lot of people that are movers and shakers within the community that live here, that had their homes destroyed and are looking for answers, and they're getting it there, and they're realizing that it is going to be a process, but we can see how it's being developed. So everybody that you see out here doing stuff, there's a lot of people that are on, let's say, social media that you see that had events that are there. So I would say definitely there.
Oh, that's
okay, cool. Well, let's segue into what you're doing with this event and how your nonprofit got started.
Definitely. Which part first? The nonprofit?
Yeah, let's start with the nonprofit.
Oh, yeah.
Nonprofit just started up. It is fairly new, but I was listening to one of my teachers, Brother Yosef, or Chief Nwadiati. Hopefully I said that right, y'all. But he was like, yeah, I see the fires going on out there. But there's fireproof material called hempcrete. I was like, what? Well, hemp what? And so I looked it up, and it's basically hemp mixed with concrete, okay? So I was like,
does hempcrete. I didn't know what you said at first.
I didn't know what I said either for a second. So basically, it's hemp concrete, and the eco-friendly material that is fireproof. That's instead of the traditional wood, and I would say, drywall installation that you have in your walls. It would burn in plastic pipes. Let's put that out there too. There you go. And this is only one material, right? You got
free the leaf.
Only one material. There's mudcrete. There's also copper pipes that we need to put back in the house for multiple reasons. The government wanted that to be out of the house. Should I get into that? I'm gonna just leave it at.
Hey, talk about what you want, man. Well, what do you know?
The government wanted it out of the house because it interferes with Wi-Fi.
Does it?
It interferes with Wi-Fi. It's also good for your body. So I'm trying to do it.
I got mine too.
It's also good for your body, So I try to drink it, wear it.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, and then I was working at FedEx, and my knees started to pop, my back popped. I was like, hold on, wait a minute. I signed up to move packages, not have my body popping live. So I was like, well, what can I do? So I looked up. I'm pretty sure you guys heard of the brand Copperfit. So I started wearing that. And I start making these bracelets and putting it on. And when I tell you, it keeps my energy right, because what a cell phone does is that it actually has elf waves that come to it. and will lower your energetic field, and which makes you weaker. So I'm just segue into that just to show that it's important to have certain things that are healthy for your body naturally in your house, because that water that filters through has natural calcium, it has bleach, calcium, it has a whole bunch of stuff. But that copper will actually make that water energetic. So when you're taking a shower, if you happen to ever drink your sink water, but all that stuff, it will help with it. So and here's the other side to it. Copper burns at about 1800 Fahrenheit, versus plastic is going to burn under 300 Fahrenheit. So will that stop a forest fire burning through your home? It won't, but it would take a longer time for it to burn. It would be more fire resistant. Your home might still be there, as well as the natural health benefits from copper that you're going to get. And that's just the pipes, let alone Hipcrete being eco-friendly, and everything else that comes along with it. So I think we have to move towards more of a idea that we need to have our homes. Since the community never seen this before in 150 years, we need to plan the community to be like this in the future. It's going to last another 150 years. And if the fire decides to come back, at least we as Altadenians decided to put something in the walls besides wood that can burn easily.
We're actually prepared.
We're actually prepared, and they're going to look back like, oh man, my great grandfather made a great decision, and since this is such a legacy city or town, we need to be city. And that's another topic. But since this is such a legacy type of area, we need to act like that now. I think that's what we need to do, and that's kind of why I got started. I'm like, we shouldn't. LA County telling us that if you want to rebuild your home, you need to put sprinklers on it. Is that going to stop the fire? It's not. I don't mind sprinklers, but change what's in the walls. Change what you put in there. And the cost, it might be. I haven't ran the comps, but from what I've saw, it's either going to be around the same amount of money to build with, or probably a 10% increase for your home to last 30 to 50% longer. So
got Tony to pop in.
That's why I was getting in.
Welcome, Tony.
Hello.
Morning. Thank you.
So
I was just going to ask, so what is New Village Foundation doing? What are you trying to accomplish?
So I want to be the broker of the situation. I don't create hempcrete, I don't have a hemp farm or a cement factory, but I want to basically start getting dedicated. And then I'm learning this stuff too, as being in the rebuild group, which is awesome. So I want to have dedicated price books, people saying, hey, I'll have it at this price. So I can start comparing and showing it to homeowners, general contractors, that these, if you particularly want to make your home eco-friendly and fire resistance, that I found some of the best prices that you can use, So I'm just the broker, I'm the middleman, and that's kind of like, I'm realizing that I had to like condense what I want to do and just simplify it, because it's so, like I said, it's a lot to do in construction. So you have to simplify what you do so everybody can utilize you as a tool,
So what's this event coming up this Saturday going to be mainly focused on?
The event is mainly focused on recovery for Altadenians. It's going to be financial assistance. I believe we just cleared having about 300 plus air purifiers there. So if you need that, we're going to have somebody checking your lungs. There's going to be a class on how to make your home fireproof, quote unquote. We're going to have a town hall meeting. We're going to have a panel with some of our sponsors. Just basically everything to do with helping people in this time. and we need events like this, because the reality is they're cutting off a lot of funding, and people are feeling it. And we saw that the other day, in Pasadena. I won't mention what, but if people are feeling it and they're expressing it on the streets.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you talking about the incident that happened a few days ago?
Yeah. We all know. We know, but I don't need to talk about it.
No, it's not. We don't want to bring any attention to that.
But that's what's going to happen if we don't, and I'm not saying that, I'm just saying as a community, we need to be responsible for each other. That's it. And we need to realize that this type of pressure is going to be on until we establish a better, I would say, a workforce, more jobs, and that makes sense for us. So.
Well, I have some links up here. One is for the event. If you guys want to go to the event, this is the link. Of course, these links are super long, so we always cut them off and put our branding on them. So if you wanted to go to the event, if you look at the top left corner, it says a few tickets left. So get your tickets. The event's in about 2-3 days.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a max number of people that can attend?
Well, we're putting at 300, and we're also going to have free food. So come out, and then the volunteers, we have a breakfast, particularly for you guys as well. We are looking for volunteers as well.
Yeah, there's the link for the volunteers. If you go there, you can EFR. Just put altadena.org/EFR volunteers.
Yes.
For the Eaton fire recovery.
Definitely. So I'm just the marketing chief at this event, promoting it, and I work with Naja Benson and Ramani. I'm sorry if I said your background, but and they've been doing this. Naja's been doing this for since high school, since 2005, 2004. She's worked with Hurricane Harvey, Hurricane Katrina. So we have a team of experienced people. We're just putting this out to the community to help everybody, and we're going to have to continue to do this. I can't even emphasize that enough, because we're scattered to the four winds. Unfortunately, we're scattered everywhere across Los Angeles. So it's sometimes it's hard to find the people that need the help, just because we don't know how to reach out and reach you, because we're so, even before the fires, we were all secluded. We kind of stay in our own world, in our own lane, the same people. That's just what it is,
Right. On your same street, unless you go to a common area where you all congregate or meet up. And now it's at the point where we're not even in the same area. I'm all the way out in Santa Clarita. Tony's all the way out in San Dimas. So, it's this is the only way we kind of get together every day.
Exactly.
The podcast.
Exactly. And Altadena's, I called it the city of 4 degrees of separation.
It's only one.
If
you deal with me,
don't try to hide now. I'm gonna find out who you are. Just one phone call.
Right. Just keep talking. And we come from the town where everybody say your first and last name. That way we know, because if you know Cleo or which one, man.
Exactly. Hilarious.
But those are the links. Here's a link if you guys want to donate to the nonprofit. It's altadena.org/new village donation. NU village donation. So, and I do have, because I know you got to get ready to get out of here. Here's where you can follow Lionel on his Instagrams, one for the nonprofit, and I guess the personal one, or both of them.
Fashion, But
the fashion.
I'm mixing that one up. So I'm putting all the stuff that I'm doing out in the community is going to start going to the nonprofit page. First one was for the fashion, definitely.
Well, we appreciate you being on, man, and I'm gonna be up there Saturday. I got my media pass.
There you go, man. There you go. There you go.
Go up there and do some coverage. Do a few interviews.
As you
Yeah,
should.
people are faring and bring light to the subject. Normally what I do is when I come to an event, if I got the internet capability, I'll go live from it.
Exactly.
And so that everybody can see what's going on. And you guys are starting this at 7 a.m., you said?
No, 7 a.m. is for the sponsors and volunteers. We need them to check in early.
Oh, okay.
9 a.m. is the official start time.
Yeah, I actually copied the flyer portion of the event. So it shows that it's May 10th, 9 to 3. And Friendship Pasadena Church, 80 West Dayton Street.
Mm-hmm,
and you can scan the QR code to register.
I was just at that church 3 months ago. My friend Mike Walters and his funeral there. So yeah, I know exactly where it is.
Definitely. Well, we're right. It's going to be right behind Buca de Beppo. So if you guys know where that's at, it's right around the corner.
Mm-hmm.
It's just in
the cigar lounge.
Yeah, in the cigar lounge. Now, I'm mad that other cigar lounge up in Paseo. That one was.
Oh, Ceniza.
I forgot what it was called, but it was a great place to meet business people.
Yeah, it was Ceniza back in the day, right by right in front of the little courtyard area.
Yeah. Upstairs courtyard. The upstairs, you gotta walk upstairs to see the hidden gem.
By the bodega, the little restaurant.
Yeah,
it's an event place now.
I think bodega is gone, man.
I know bodega's gone, but yeah, Ceniza was the name of that spot. It means ash in Spanish. It was dope. It does. It means ash.
You must have
you had to put the emphasis.
Ash.
That brother, you had a memory.
We've had a lot of ash references these last 3 weeks. Ashes, the anthems, bad ash bakery.
I'm a cigar smoker, so I used to go to that spot regularly. So
definitely,
for the short period of time that it was there, so I'm very familiar. Because at the time there weren't that many places to go locally, and I didn't like going to the spot in Old Town.
I know
just leave it at that,
I get
we all know what you're
anyhow.
We support all our businesses out here, and
unfortunately, if some of them don't support us.
Well, that's Pasadena. We'll put you on Front Street, So that's what it is.
Tony, I don't know if you heard him when we first came on, but he was like, as we all are, you said you're from Dena? Well, who you know? Where you? Where you?
I'm in Carfax, so especially now with just people like we have to bet.
Popping up.
We got to. Everybody's just trying to take as much as they can from you and leave you with crimes. I'm like, no, that's not going to happen. And another thing, a lot of people think that you have to be insured to get your home rebuilt, and that's not the case. There are some nonprofits out there that will work with you. I just want to throw that out there. So anybody who's thinking that I'm not insured, so nobody can help you, that's not true. There are resources out here that will definitely help you. So,
well, that's one of the main reasons why we started this podcast, so we could bring those types of resources to the forefront and get you to know that there are other things. And if you missed the show, you can always watch that episode that happened 2 months ago or a month ago or whatever. Go ahead, Tony. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I was saying, I've been in this through FEMA and Cal OES because I've had several meetings with them, but in this long-term recovery planning, right? So matter of fact, I think tomorrow's the last session from the last 4 weeks, so twice a week. But once that's over, then I've got to contact Cal OES because there's this 40-hour training, right? And what we've already been doing at Victory Bible Church is all of what a long-term recovery group does from day one, right? Including, this week, who is there? Red Cross, still giving stuff away, our town hall that we had there in March, and really just connecting people with the resources. So for you to be on here, Lionel, you're at another resource. Your event is another resource. And as they look at who, right? We know the people outside of like Habitat for Humanity, but the Mennonites and New Hope Recovery, who are the only two authorized ones that when the big money, when I'm talking the billions come in from the real funders, not this little money that Red Cross is giving, not the little money of, oh, they raised 600 million at a concert. I know people are like, we need it, but that's pennies. There are billions, trillions out there with real funding waiting. And once we all get certified and they can start bringing that money in, there are groups that if you, and I've said it several times, you might have $100 in your account and you still have your lot and you have exhausted insurance and FEMA and everything else, and you have nothing, but you want your home rebuilt, it will be rebuilt at no cost. So when the real money comes in later, and that's going to be 6 to 9 months down the road, right? I keep trying to tell people, rest assured, you're going to get your house back, whether you have the money or not. So the fact that you just said it, obviously, and you've been in meetings, I'm sure, with lots of people too. And there are resources and people, please, if you can, hold on to your lot. You don't have to sell because you think you're not going to get it rebuilt. Yes, you will get it rebuilt. But if that's your legacy, keep your lot. Make sure that, and we'll have Mark on here soon, but you put that lot now while it's vacant and bare in a trust, and say who the executor of that trust is or who in the family it will be passed to, because we have found in Altadena, there are so many people that got houses passed down from great grandma to mama to me, and it wasn't in a trust and there's no deed. The deed was never transferred. Had that house been put in a family trust, you wouldn't have that issue. And you don't have capital gains tax when it is passed to the next generation. So that's part of what we're doing here as well, trying to educate people. And as we are finding, I know at my church, and other organizations throughout the community, we're trying to help people. Sasha Perez is saying, okay, look, we have to have this embedded in law to help these people that have lost fires because they didn't have a deed that was transferred. So now let's not give them this undue burden of, now we've got to get a new deed transferred, right? Notaries and all that. But once it's transferred, we're going to go all the way back and you're going to pay capital gains taxes from great grandma or whatever. So she's like, no, we can't allow that. And so far it's had bipartisan support. But the fact is, you don't know these things until after an event like this happens, right? And when people are not aware, or in my family, we have, a trust or whatever, right? Our house is a trust. But if people don't know that because they haven't been exposed to it and educated that that's what you should do, then you find out after the fact. So whatever we can do here to connect people with those that can help, that aren't trying to get something out of them, right? That aren't trying to take them for their money or whatever they have. But here, I'll pro bono help you get this trust and put your land in it now, right? Things like that. That's what's important. And obviously, Lionel, you're an Altadenian too, as we are. And everybody knows Altadenians are extremely protective of our community. And so the least little person that we don't know that's going to come in, we're going to vet you like you've never been vetted before. And if we have any impropriety, every time I say something, even if I don't give the exact name, Jamal puts this blast thing up. Somebody blast again, right? And I come that close to saying who they are. And I'm like, okay, I won't. But if we get to expose what is happening without necessarily the person, and hopefully if they're watching, they go, okay, they know, let me back up, right? Whatever. But if we can make sure that our community is going to be okay, because we have vetted and we know that people that are coming in, like you all are having this event, you all have vetted those that are going to come in, and you know that these people aren't here. Like at our town hall March 8th, we had some man from Mississippi talking about, I'm here to remember Big Boy that I had to get on in his neck. He was like, I'm here.
He said, but the laugh said it all.
He said, right. He said, oh, I'm here to, and he had told somebody outside, I met him outside. Hi, can I help you? No, I'm here for the town. I was like, okay, welcome. Then inside, he had met up with two women and was like, yeah, I'm here. I'm a contractor. I'm here to get business. And so they came and got me, and I asked him, how could I help him? He was like, well, I'm here to get business. I said, absolutely, you're not. I said, because That's not what this is for. I said, this is for the residents to know what is the process in the next steps to rebuild. Well, I'm from Mississippi and I don't think enough of us, meaning Black folks, right, are getting to work. And so I came to get work. I said, well, this is not the forum for you, right?
And so he's been vetted yet.
Right. He stood in the back.
It'd be like taking and tell him good luck.
Right. He stood in the back for a while. Then he went outside. Then he left. Right. Like, no, you're not.
Well, he went outside and got on his high horse on the curb. And like, I don't understand why, you know.
And so, but that's the thing. And being able to stand up to people and be like, I'm sorry, no, you're not going to do that in here. Right. And so I appreciate what you're doing, Lionel, in the community. And the thing about it is there may be like 100 organizations doing something, but I think the intent is for the good of our community from everybody. And so guess what? If there's something every weekend, 2 or 3 things, and people are able to go around and get more information than what they had and more resources, then so be it. Have at it. So thank you for being here today and doing what you're doing.
Definitely wanted to comment on what you were saying, Tony. First off, you're at Victory Bible Church. I've been meaning, I reached out to one of the ministers. We were looking to get additional volunteers. So if you can help me and direct the right person, I would appreciate that as well. But on
this Saturday, you want help?
This Saturday, yes.
Okay. I'll call Pastor Angel when I get off the phone. I mean, when we're off of this.
Appreciate you. The second part to what you were saying, we literally yesterday, that was our meeting. We had New Hope, and I don't remember the abbreviation of their nonprofit all the way, but New Hope, a guy by the name
of Hope. It's HRNC.
Yes.
Yeah. And them and the Mennonites.
And the Mennonites was there. I found out again. The Mennonite, the guy was quiet. He was sitting there, but I met the people afterwards.
Yes.
But
so
yes.
Hope Renew, something, but a center, and then the Mennonites are the only 2 in the state that are authorized to build these houses back. Now, Habitat for Humanity is doing it, but their thing is separate because they are a whole organization. They get donations. They are authorized to do it that way. But the only 2 truly authorized by Cal OES in the state are Hope Renew Center and the Mennonites. So yes, they will build your house if you have nothing at the end of this.
And then the where the money is potentially coming from is Catholic Charities. Okay, so well, I mean, I was learning yesterday, so you know, you guys don't attack me if you see me on the street.
No. No, let me tell you what happens with that. So it comes through Catholic Charities. The donation has to go through them. But when I met with Cal OES a month ago, I said, no, I won't work with Catholic Charities like that. And they said, why, Tony? I said, because from the point of the beginning to when we met with Cal OES and everything, Catholic Charities had given money to our area, Altadena and Pasadena, but not to one Black or brown organization. And so I said, Catholic Charities ain't thinking about us. Pastor John found out about it a few weeks prior and called them on it. And they sent us 20,000 where they had given 500,000, 150, things like that. Right. So what Cal OES said in that meeting, Lionel, was, okay, Tony, then how do you want it done? I said, because Catholic Charities will select 5 groups. I said, I want our community to select those 5 groups. We want to see a brown organization, a Black organization, a Filipino or Asian organization, a white organization, and somebody else, because that's what Altadena is. And so Cal OES said, then that's how we'll work it if you all at Victory become a long-term recovery center. And then with those orgs, they would hire their people, meaning from the community, to be case managers. We call them care managers of Victory because we want to care for people. Okay. And they said, okay, that's what we're going to do. Because I said the way Catholic Charities does stuff, they're not thinking about our community. They're going to pick the organizations they want. They represent them, right? And not us. And if this is a community-led effort, then we in the community need to have a say. We need to pick the orgs that can go and pick the people from the community. I said, because there are people that lost not only homes, but their businesses or their jobs because their business that they worked in burned down. So why not give them the opportunity to get trained as case managers and have a job that they're paid to help people? So that's why I did that, Lionel. It wasn't attacking you. I wanted you to
Oh
know.
no, I'm just, if there's some truth to it, I'm gonna bring it to the table. I don't care how many
Absolutely.
people sit in that. So
Yeah.
so that, but I'm taking in the information and then I'm
Yeah.
gonna disseminate it.
Just context for you. So that's why I did it that way, because otherwise they're like, oh, Catholic Charities are going to be the ones that are going to pick the orgs and the money comes through them. No. And so those of us that are doing this work and looking at becoming long-term partners or whatever, we need to know that information. And so please disseminate it. What I just said.
I need to talk to you on the side. I need the information in black and white, cool. Because I got a group of people that I'm sitting next to, and I'm just, you're like, oh, I'm taking notes. I'm like, yo, this is a lot of information.
Yeah,
and,
it is.
That's an interesting fact right there, and I'm gonna bring it up.
Okay. Sounds good. When we're done or off, you can have my number, and you can reach out to me anytime. Yeah. But I wanted you to know that part just because I understand the Catholic Charities piece, and that's what they keep throwing at us. Yeah. But I said, no, if this is a community-led effort, you let the community decide. And Cal OES and FEMA sat in that room with me, and they said, Tony, we have never had anybody tell us no, and they wanted to do it the way that you're saying. But yes, you're giving us kickback, and yes, maybe we need to change it. And I said, yeah, because we're not just going to have y'all come in and tell us do it this way, because it's the way you always do it. And then we know that Catholic Charities has not given a cent to these groups until they were called. But when you got 500,000, couple 100,000, and they give us 20,000, that's a huge disparity, and that's not okay.
So I'm going to double down on what I said earlier. Every Tuesday at Elk Lodge, and a lot of people don't know this, but every Tuesday, the meeting. You know about the meeting?
I have not come because I can't come on Tuesdays at 11. I've been for the last 4 weeks in this because Jill told me.
I need us to infiltrate. Okay, I need somebody in every group. I got 2 of the people that I'm working with. They're in 2. Each one is in a different group. I'm in rebuild, but we all I need people to come, man. It can't just be me. But I'm gonna do what I do. If y'all don't show up.
But let me say this to you, Lionel. One of the reasons is I can't just be there at 11 a.m., right?
Of course.
And part of it is I've been in this long-term recovery training from 11 to 1 Tuesdays and Thursdays. The second thing for me, and people who have watched this show before have heard it, I'll say it again. I have a little bit of a problem with this huge 90+ group of people, because when it's 90, 100 groups, everybody's going to be hammering for, I want this, I want this, I want power. That's part of it. Exactly. Number 1. Number 2, I'm an Altadenian. I'm not a Sierra Madrean. I'm not a Pasadena's. And this is my thinking. Doesn't mean this is Altadena Talks or whatever. This is straight from Tony. Pasadena and Sierra Madre are fully incorporated cities with their own governments, municipalities, all that. Altadena is not. We are a town that's unincorporated. So why would I join a collaborative that has 9,200 groups, and you got Pasadena and Sierra Madre in it, trying to also control and say, just like that whole thing that's going around now, the petition. The petition is the Eaton Fire petition. And the decision makers on that petition that now has 1,900 signatures or whatever, and it's a petition, it doesn't make anybody do anything, includes Sierra Madre and Pasadena, and lists Mayor Victor Gordo, who's the mayor of Pasadena, and 2 city council people from Sierra Madre as decision makers. They don't have a thing to say about Altadena because we're county. So our supervisors will make the decision if the permits will be waived or not Pasadena or Sierra Madre. So things like a petition that includes all of those, right? Okay. And a collaborative that has 100 groups that have all these areas. Yes, everybody was affected by the Eaton fires, but if 10 homes burned down in Sierra Madre and 120 in Pasadena, we got 6,400 in Altadena. My priority is Altadena. Not that Pasadena and Sierra Madre shouldn't have people prioritizing for them, but this is my thought process. This is where my head and heart are. And so that's another reason I won't come on Tuesdays to that conglomerate of a collaborative of 100+ groups. And because I'm not going to fight with anybody about any little thing. We're here to try to help one another, but you have to be realistic. So that's another reason, besides me being in this long-term recovery training and stuff, that I'm not there on Tuesdays at 11.
Definitely.
Okay.
And that's good to know. All that information. That is good to know. So
and a lot of people don't know it. But I love investigating, and I love deep diving into stuff and finding out who's behind it, what's the money behind it, all of that. And as part of that's my nature, this is what I have found out.
Well, I guess I'm going to be asking a lot more questions now. Where you from? What street you live on? Are you from Altadena, Sierra Madre, Pasadena? I just want to make sure that's all.
Well, you got to know because you get a lot of people that are pretending.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And using Altadena name, and they're from San Diego or who knows where, right? And not affiliated at all.
Even the people that go to some of these resource places, they don't even have ID, and they're like, for instance, I'll give you one real quick. Went to the town hall, the first one that kind of happened at New Revelation. I guess it was back in January. The next day, there was 2,000 people at Robinson Park getting free Dodger stuff. Not one of those people was at the town hall, but they're here in Pasadena taking advantage of what's supposed to be going to Altadena.
So we need an elected official. Also, what do you guys think about turning Altadena into a city, getting at least 25? No?
Nope.
What are we going to do?
Because, see, here's the beautiful thing about it. We're a part of the county, so we're not under all these restrictions. Plus, we'd have to have money to have a mayor, to have all these other departments, have our own fire department. There's a lot of money that goes into incorporating into a city. We're part of the county that has more money than Pasadena. So we don't want to be part of the what do you call it? The poverty-stricken budgets that will strain the whole economy because we're relying on now being self-sufficient. We don't have the capabilities right now.
I think, Lionel, for me, what I'm seeing is a lot of, and I'll say this, and I don't know them personally, but new Altadenians that want to turn Altadena into an incorporated city. All of us that have been there forever, 50, 60, 40 plus years, whatever, that are long time Altadenians are saying, no, we like it as it is. And then as a result of this event, we know what happened with the water, right? We know that we didn't have the firefighting force, but with winds at 80 to 100 miles an hour, it wouldn't have mattered if we had all the firefighters in the water in the world. The embers were blowing, they were going to blow, and we would not have been able to save all of Altadena. We also know that the alert system was not working, I think, within Altadena, and I believe part of it is the towers were burning, so satellite stuff was interfered with, where Brian was on his way from Arcadia, and he got an alert, although he's an Altadena person, right? So I think that people are jumping to all these conclusions and saying, well, if we were incorporated, we wouldn't have had this. We would have
nothing to do with it. The power would have been out regardless.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Hindsight.
So that's what, exactly. It's in hindsight. And I believe that that's what part of the issues are. And then, like I said, a lot of the newer Altadenians feel, well, we need to incorporate, either become part of Pasadena or become our own. But it takes a long time to become a city as well. Most people will be built back before we could even be incorporated, because you have to have a charter. You have to have, like you said, elections for elected officials, like a mayor and a city council. You have to have the budget to have a city.
That's the key, the budget.
And we'd have to succeed from the county, and they'd have to agree to give us some of what the finances, right? So people, I don't believe, have a clue what it takes to become a city. And just like we had a month or so ago, somebody came on talking about, and he's Altadenian, right? I don't think he lives in Altadena right now, but said, oh, well, everybody just needs to get sidewalks. And I said, that's what he said. And then when I broke it down,
sidewalk
that same person's been here for his birth.
Right. And so my thing was,
and still don't have a sidewalk on his street.
I said, let me break it down for you what it takes to have a sidewalk. I said, first of all, the county has to come in and do an assessment. Everybody on the street on the north and the south side has to agree to have a sidewalk, which means you agree to give up 3 to 6 feet of your land It's now taken away because you have to have the sidewalk space, plus the county still has that egress part, right? And then it costs about $15,000 per homeowner. And so when I start breaking it all down and the permitting and all of that, it's not we all just need sidewalks, right? But people think and say stuff without doing the research and without vetting what they're saying to know what the real deal is. Where I'm going to investigate first so that I can have some facts and be able to come on here and say, this is what it actually takes. And then people go, oh, okay, maybe not, right? So, because literally if you have 20 houses on the north and 20 on the south, or let's say 10 and 10 on a block, right? If there's 20 total, each 20 people, each house has to say yes. They have to file for the permits together. The county has to do the assessment. They have to agree to give up part of their land. And then they all have to pay that $15,000 to get it done. When you're talking about people saying, I don't even know if I can afford to build back, and complaining about the solar and the sprinklers, what are you talking about? Another $15,000 for a sidewalk. Now, I agree with you wholeheartedly that we shouldn't build timber boxes again. I've been saying it from day one. We need to use steel or whatever for our studs. Number two, fire sprinklers inside, I believe will be ineffective because once the fire gets in, it ain't gonna do nothing. Now, I was stationed in Japan. I was stationed in Japan when I was in the Air Force. They have fire sprinklers, but they're on the top, on the outside of the roofs, and they literally go off and help put things out. And if the county said, okay, everybody have fire sprinklers on the outside, right? That's cool, but the infrastructure,
water pressure won't even be there.
In 2 of the 3 water companies does not have the PSI to even activate a sprinkler. So if they upgrade their pumps and change the infrastructure, then yes. So for the state to treat these homes, these rebuilds as new builds under that code makes no sense. I think they need to look at waiving that. I've said that from the very beginning. The second thing I said from the very beginning is also part of the new building code is everybody has to have solar. Well, anybody that knows anything about Altadena knows many of the homes have large oak trees on the lots, have large deodoras, and they cover the footprint of the house. So if those trees didn't burn and they weren't told by an arborist they're dead and have to be cut and they're still there, you are rebuilding the footprint. And guess what? They're still going to cover the top of the house, which means solar panels are null and void.
And correct me if I'm wrong, aren't solar panels still connected to the grid? So meaning that...
Well, they are, but what happens is you generate, because I put panels on my house a year and a half ago. So they are, but what the state is trying to do, and Edison and PG&E really, is they keep raising rates, right? They're going to keep hiking rates regardless. But what they're trying to do is say all new builds have to have solar and batteries, right? But then you take away, and still, it used to be where you got 100% of what you generated and sent back to the grid. Well, I don't know if anybody knows, but this past summer that we just had, we didn't have the number of blackouts that we've previously had because the amount of solar panel homeowners that have panels. So we constantly are feeding the grid, and you don't have as many blackouts or rolling blackouts, right? But Edison keeps now they just came out with something last week that, oh, you know what? Because a lady who's on the CPUC used to be an executive at Edison. So now where panel owners used to get 100% back of what they generated, we only get 25%. They steal 75% from us. We only get a credit of 25%. And people that were grandfathered in that were supposed to get 20 years of 100%, they now want to change it. It's going through the assembly right now, the bill, to give people 10 years. They're cutting it after they already agreed to it. So solar panel and battery owners are livid because it's like, oh, halfway through, you want to change the game and the rules.
So you can get some of that money back that you're going to have to give up.
And my thing is, I believe Edison, PG&E, and all of them, instead of giving somebody a credit at the end of the year for $1,000 or whatever, right? Or even monthly, just make it a wash. If I gave you everything that I used or I gave you more, just say I don't have a bill. Don't give me $100 back. Just say I don't have a bill. Make it a flat wash. And instead of them doing that, oh no, you're not They say we that have panels are not giving enough to those that do not.
What?
Hello. That's what the argument is right now.
Well, shoot, is that a tax write-off? What's going on?
Sounds like
No.
a co-op.
So it's so much shenanigans, but the fact is, like, you have to be educated. You have to go to these public meetings. You have to listen in on Zoom meetings or whatever, so you get this information. If you don't, you're just spitting things outside of your neck and you don't have the actual facts. And so I'm in a lot of meetings all the time, at night, during the week. I'll go to meetings, whatever, so that when we get on this platform and I speak or we talk about something, I know that I have the facts on it. I'm not just running my mouth, right? And that's what I think is important for our community. But telling people they have to have solar, if a tree covered a whole footprint of the house before and didn't allow solar because the rays wouldn't get to the panels to generate anything, why are you trying to make people get them now?
Exactly. And
Doesn't make sense.
That Edison wanted, they were putting a bill in front of Governor Newsom's desk about having the power lines being buried. Right. And they want to foot the bill to us.
Right.
Not when it's Edison should be building there. There's a dummy.
$1,000 per house comes up to about, I think, 90 million or plus, something like that.
So they're trying to offset the money that they're going to give us from burning our houses down.
Right.
And
the crazy part about that is we know this tower should have been, or was quote unquote after the fire was
dormant one from 50 years ago.
But it didn't, it stayed up there and it arced, right? And it started the fire. And so the fact that you try to justify it, and the fact that our governor, this is his last term, yes, I'm a Democrat, but we need some change, whether it's independent or whatever. The fact that you are putting people on the Public Utilities Commission, because those commissioners are appointed by the governor, they're not voted for. The last appointment is this lady who was an executive at Edison. She worked for Edison as an executive. She is now the one authoring this bill to take away their 10 years and all of this, right? So it's like, are you even listening to us? And the thing with putting things underground, at first they're, we're putting them, well, look where they're putting them, far east on Loma Alta, right? Near Porter and all of that, Tannable. And first it was 2 miles. Now all of a sudden they're doing 9 miles. Okay, great. But immediately within a week, you were putting brand new transformers and power poles up everywhere else in Altadena. And that's when initially they were saying, no gas appliances. They're going to take chimneys down and you can't have another fireplace unless it's electric, all electric. And then it was brought.
Down? That was the only thing that was standing left at home.
Yeah, most chimneys have been knocked down. And so what happens is when they were trying to make this all electric, because new builds, that's when it was, first of all, these are not new builds, these are rebuilds. Nobody wanted their houses burned down. Secondly, in order for you to make a town, a city, whatever, all electric, like a master plan community, you have to go underground because all electric is 400 amperage. The lines and transformers have to be underground for 400. If they're above ground on a pole, they can only be 200. So since they started putting them up right away, it was, no, you can't. So they gave, and they were like, okay, you can have gas appliances and you can have a gas fireplace now or electric. First, they were like only electric. They don't want any more wood burning because of air quality. But now people can have gas again and can have their gas appliances again, whether it's a stove, washer or whatever. But literally, like, people were at the legislators saying, no, no, no. We were literally like, no, you cannot. And this was the perfect time for Edison to put everything underground, but don't charge it to the people.
Exactly.
You failed to take that away in 1971 when we were all 5, 6, 7 or whatever. Right. So how are you going to tell people, well, we got to do this and we're going to charge you? No, you're getting ready to give away gazillions of dollars because you burned a whole town down. And now, hey, you eat it, whatever. Because either way, every year you're hiking rates. I'm sorry. You're hiking rates on people, whether you are.
You said it right the first time. You raking in the heights. That's what it is.
Raking it in, huh?
Crazy.
All you see is that bigger, when Trump said, why don't you rake your forest? Well, they raking it now.
Hello.
And I heard that, that companies, when they're sued, the money usually comes out of their taxes, so it's kind of like a tax write-off when they have to pay people. I don't know if the bill's too high.
Yeah. It comes from their insurance company, but yes, it can be deducted as a loss and on their taxes. Absolutely. And it may not all be in 1 year, but
that's what I'm saying. Like,
they'll defer.
Are they being malicious, or are they not getting that much back in tax? I mean, that's something to look into. Like, why would you try to flip the bill to us unless they just think they're never going to say anything?
Because that's business.
That's how they do it.
That's how business works.
Okay, fair enough.
It's unfortunate, but that's how business works. Which
it's
is
like
why
when you put an invoice out there and nobody pays you for 2 years, and now you got to write that off because you did the work. Yeah, I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, we know.
School of hard knocks, baby. I will shut your stuff down. That's why I don't give you nothing until that's all done.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the thing is, the reason that a certain administration is in power now is because business put all the money into that campaign or to buy the election because they want favor, right? The billionaires, the ultra wealthy, the business owners wanted favor. Just like now, you can come to the White House for a tour if you're giving $1 billion or whatever, which has been happening lately, right? Or if you buy 20 million in this meme coin, right? So the White House is for sale. A lot of corruption going on. So it's pay to play. And that's what happens. And with Edison and everybody, it's pay to play. And then the constituents, those of us that are down here really, doing the work, living here, all of that, paying the taxes, are the ones getting screwed over. So it's just a matter of, what is it that we can do and how loud we are willing to scream. Because they say the squeaky wheel gets oiled. So it's time for all of us to continue to be the squeaky wheel, whether it's at the county meetings or wherever. Jamal come up with some sound. I already know.
See, Brian just needs to move around in his chair. He'll make enough squeaky noises.
No, I don't sit in that chair anymore. You noticed that, right? I'm back
you
down
move.
here. I'm back down here in the thoroughfare.
He said the thoroughfare. The sun is out.
Oh yeah, I'm looking in the backyard right now, going,
I'm gonna be outside if the sun is out.
I don't see no sun. It is getting lighter.
No, I don't like
I'm in Santa Clarita. This is always the high desert out here.
But definitely, great information.
Well, you know what? We held you over and beyond your time frame.
I know, man. I had to get the info. I had to get the info from Tony.
I started laughing when you came on, Tony. I said, she about to have him on here for another 45 minutes telling her information. It's going to be over. But you know what, though, Lionel? You needed to hear it from the authority who is always, she going to tell you the real nitty gritty. She going to check it out. She going to vet. She going to do whatever it takes.
I try.
To make sure. No, but, that's the reason why people come and check out the show because, they can rely on us.
Yeah, that's her special power, too. Just like Brian can remember all kind of crazy stuff.
Everything.
Tony remembers all that.
I have the power.
Information. We're going to start calling her Data, like from Star Trek.
Right. Exactly.
She got that info.
Hey, if it helps our community, I'm going to try to find out.
Exactly. Appreciate it. Definitely want to connect.
But that's what's needed.
Because I want to be in some of those meetings you're talking about, where everybody can get information too, because we all need to know.
Yeah, the beauty about the way Tony tells it, she gives us perspective. It's not just the data. Yeah. It's perspective from all angles and, ways to consider it that perhaps you didn't initially, which is a good thing.
And sometimes I'm like super stubborn and biased, right? And I'll admit that. But then I have to pull back because it's not just about my opinion. This overall is about our community. So that's why it's like, okay, well, here's the different perspective. Take take from it what you will, but these are the facts. I try to present some facts and people could take whatever they want, right? But if they know, at least they know. Like a lady contacted me like, Tony, I'm so confused. My house is 3,000 square feet. I don't know if I do the 10% or what. Can the county give it to me? Am I under Prop 13? So I went on the county assessors 2 days ago and I was like, girl, you're under Prop 13 because when you bought your house. I said, and because you were over 2,000 square feet, you can do the 10% without having the reassessed higher tax. And then I told her, people 2,000 square feet or below have to go 200 square feet. So it winds up being basically 20% because with the new building codes, hallways have to be wider, doorways have to be larger, and bathrooms have to be accessible for someone in a wheelchair to be able to scoot in and turn around. And because of that, it would take from your footprint, if you only went 10%, it would be like you maybe went 5. So now the county has said, as of March 20th, you have to go 2,000 square feet or below, you have to go 200 square feet now. Because if your house was 15 and you only went 10%, that's 150. But with the new building code, that would seem like your house shrank. So you got to go 200 square feet above and make it 17. If your house is over 2,000 square feet, you do the 10%. If you're under 13, mind you, right? And then you won't have that reassessment. So, and also the whole like for like thing, at first they were like, oh, you have to do like for like bedrooms, bathrooms, everything in the same location. That changed as well. As long as it's your footprint, it does not have to be the exact layout and floor plan for the like for like that you had before. So those are the kind of things we get in meetings or, look on the website, get the real deal information. I've called the assessor, I don't know even how many times, right? But I've gotten the information so that we can say it here and people can feel like, oh, okay. And then we provide links. Here's where it is actually written, right? On the county rebuild site. And Jamal's great because I'll be saying something. The next thing you know, the daggone website's up. And then Brian puts the link up so that people have the correct information.
Got it. Definitely. Lot to digest.
Yeah. And we got 81 episodes of it. So we out here every day, Monday through Friday, just bringing you the information from people like yourself, our own internal research and efforts, and just going to a lot of these events and just, Definitely. So yes, definitely we'll be at your event on Saturday. And I don't know, Jamal, do you think you're going to do the announcements or?
I mean, there are a lot of them, but yeah, probably. Yeah, I should do it.
This is what I think we should do. I think we should end the show and start it over with the announcements and just do the announcements and then, no, for real. Because the problem is they're not going to watch the whole show to get to the announcements. They don't know when they're coming in at. So it's up to you. I mean, I think that would be just like, was it like 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and that's it?
I don't think we should redo them. I think another solution is we can say, you guys, Tony jumped on late and, she talks. And so we went over a little bit. So
they did give them all. We said most of the
announcements are on our Altadena Talks and put the
community group.
Right. And put not only the group, I think on our actual website as well, and put the link or whatever, and people can go and look at them on their own. I think that that's fair because I jumped in and started the conversation going all over the place.
Yeah. Plus this little new mini golf course outside is called. Yeah, I'm looking at her.
You got a mini golf course for you? That's great.
Man, this girl.
Got a funny dream at the crib now.
I'm going to show you right now. So you can see, I gotta take the background off of the.
And Lionel, just so you know, one of our regular viewers, Marcus, he's also a fellow Altadenian, born, raised, and conceived.
That's gonna be the new one, y'all.
He's a real Altadenian, conceived. Yeah. He's the truth.
And conceived.
Okay, so let's see if you can see it. Can you see it?
Okay. Oh, wow. Very nice.
Yeah, she done put a whole turf back there.
She hooked you up, man.
You know what that's for, right?
What do you mean?
I don't leave the house.
No, bring that to Altadena. We need that.
I don't leave the house.
Well, you ain't going nowhere, bro.
She probably watch it going, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
let's see. And that's gonna be the new one. Born, raised, and conceived, man.
that's a shirt. Somebody better go do it. Do it quick.
I'm sure E-Double will do it.
Certain people can't wear that shirt. I will tell you that right now.
That's
I can't wear that shirt.
Some people can't wear it, you know.
Yeah, I can't wear it.
70s. Yeah. So yeah, that's something.
I can only say raised since I was 8.
We lived
level 2
on Pasadena Avenue by the Rose Bowl until I was 2. I was born at Queen of Angels Hospital in LA because the dam broke. My mama was stuck and I had to be born out there. But they lived on Pasadena Avenue. So I guess the first 2 years of my life, I'm a Pasadenean. And then they bought the house in 68 and I became an Altadenean and did preschool, elementary, all that, all the way through as an Altadenian.
Did I just tell you, Tony, about the thoroughfare?
So I call myself straight up Altadenian because I don't even remember Pasadena Avenue much. But either way, I'm a Dena person for sure.
But definitely, guys.
But yes, Marcus, you are hands down, bruh. Conceived, born, raised, true Altadenian. That's hashtag true Altadenian. That's who you are. So,
hey.
Me and Marcus, man. Me and Marcus. Man.
Yeah.
I know you, Marcus. I don't know, man. I meet you yesterday at the event. I don't know. There was a guy. No, he was Miles. Never mind. I'll leave that in there. His name was Miles. Okay. Well, okay. We're going to meet one day, Marcus. You know, we're going to meet one day.
He was at the event.
Appreciate you guys. Definitely check us out May 10th from 9 to 3. 9 to 3. So we will, Pharaoh's Burger will be there passing out some meals. And then for those who volunteer, we have a special breakfast in the morning for you. So, yes, and we do have, we should have put all that in there. But we do have parking lots that we have for the additional guests because, you know, there's not a lot of parking in that area. We will send out an email with that information for everybody who gets a ticket.
So give us whatever information after the show is over besides the flyer that you want us to know. Email it, text it, whatever to Brian, Jamal, myself, and then we will
talk
we will still talk about it for the next few days.
Yeah, I'm going to and I'll correspond with Brian and my team just so you know. They're probably looking right now, so they'll tell me, "Hey, you didn't say this." I'm like, "Oh, don't hurt me."
They didn't text you that like they do me.
No. See, no, they didn't text. Well, I'm glad they didn't do that. You know, I don't need to be distracted. But maybe they did.
There you go.
Podcast.
They probably did. I'm looking at something, but let me go ahead and put my phone down because we about to.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, man. I ain't gonna do them like that. Jeez. Got to do close to 1 p.m. Okay, so look, it's a little bit at the end.
So I don't know, Jamal. How many of the announcements are specifically for Saturday?
Not a lot. Not like last weekend. Or the last few. There's one.
So maybe we can just announce the things that are happening between now and Saturday now. And then the other stuff like Lone Mountain Park, all that's the following weekend. We still have time. But
there's still a lot of stuff
to do.
There's a lot of stuff happening in May, and I've been looking at it too. I'll leave it at that. I'm just going to promote.
Well, wait till June comes with all the Juneteenth celebrations.
So maybe, Jamal, if there's
Father's Day,
Saturday, we can just do those quick few and then call it a day and be done. And then the rest of the stuff we can continue to promote, other days.
But
how does that work?
Now, Lionel, you can jump out when we start doing the.
I definitely want to connect with Tony. So, Brian, if you can send me her information, however that may be,
I'll send it to you on Messenger.
Yes, I appreciate you guys once again.
Good to meet you, Lionel. Thanks for coming on, man.
Definitely. And I got a shirt that says "The Rose That Grew from the Ashes." So definitely with my links, check that out. I'm selling that, and it's a commemorate it's the basically to remember those who passed away from here to Pacific Palisades. So it's all the names of everybody, all 18, 19. I have to do the calculation. People come up with different numbers, but from my research. But definitely, I appreciate you guys once again. You guys enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks,
Lionel. Appreciate you, sir.
Definitely.
Hey, Jamal, I know you're going to do those for Saturday. Did you have that one about that run, the run from Altadena to Palisades? Let me find it.
I saw it, but I didn't. Yeah, I didn't.
I think it was on the Star News. Let me take a quick look while you're doing the rest of them. And if we can mention it, it's a fundraiser run from Altadena to Palisades this week. And so, oops, if I could spell Palisades right.
So, all right, I'm just going to go with these real quick.
Okay.
Let's get this off.
Oh, here it is. I'll send the link.
All right. I mean, there's fun stuff, and then there's the other stuff too. So tomorrow there's another virtual town hall with the LA County Department of Public Health, where you can discuss air quality updates, latest lead testing results and testing program overview, needs assessment, survey updates, and so forth. You would go to LA Public Health at Facebook, X, and YouTube to actually check that out. Then we have a reverse mortgage workshop, which is Saturday from 10 to 12 at the Monte Cedro Senior Living Community at 2212 El Molino Avenue in Altadena. The workshop helps older adults affected by the fires understand their existing reverse mortgage and the implications, and is put on by the county and a number of organizations. Then we have at Victory Bible Church, the Red Cross Financial Assistance. Today, it's only from 12 to 8, but from tomorrow through the Saturday, they're available from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And this is at 1497 North Hill in Pasadena. Also at Victory Bible Church on Saturday is Baby Love Day. This is from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. where they're blessing mothers who were impacted by the Eaton Canyon fire with diapers, wipes, and essential baby items. That again is 1497 North Hill Avenue in Pasadena. Also, regarding the Red Cross, there are a couple other locations. One is the Pasadena Community Center. Today is the last day for this one, which is at 500 North Lake Avenue, 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. And then the 8th and 9th at Pasadena Senior Center at 85 East Holly Street in Pasadena. And then on the 12th, which is next Monday, is 393 North Lake Avenue in Pasadena. We still have the Dina Relief Drive at 425 Sierra Madre Villa every Saturday, 11 to 4. Volunteers are needed. Go ahead and scan the QR code. Today, from 12 to 2, is a Mother's Day, free Mother's Day baskets at Fair Oaks Burgers until supplies last. This is 2560 North Fair Oaks Avenue in Altadena.
And they check IDs.
They do check IDs, yes.
Yeah, which is great.
Also at Fair Oaks Burger every Wednesday. So today from 12 to 3 p.m. We out here actually have a whole bunch of stuff from fresh fruits and vegetables, hot foods, clothing and shoes, hygiene products, and legal advice and resource booths. Again at Fair Oaks Burgers, and they also need donations if you can provide stuff. If you want to donate, a partner or what have you, contact Miss Juicy Little at gmail.com. I'll cover that one tomorrow. As usual, the luncheon on Wednesdays at Fame First AME Church, 1700 North Raymond Avenue, from 12 to 3 every Wednesday. To register, email msz_strong@yahoo.com or call 626-673-2200. Then this Friday is the Mother's Hat and Tea Party at the Chatto Tea Room in Old Town, Pasadena. This is put on by First Choice Design and Development. And this is from 11 a.m. or beginning at 11 a.m. on Friday, May 9th. This is at 79 North Raymond Avenue in Pasadena. Altadena Future Fair, which is the 10th and 11th. This is at the Pasadena Convention Center. You can register scanning the QR code or going to altadenafuturefair.com. There's speakers, workshops, trade shows, locals market, community healing, and a kids room on both Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 5. And then on Saturday, there's music and entertainment from 5 to 9. And Sunday, there's a community vigil at 4 p.m. And we'll leave it at that then for now. And we'll cover the that event that you were talking about. Is that this weekend, Tony, the run?
It is, yeah. I put in our private chat if you want to click on that link.
Yep, I will bring it up now.
That's actually the Eventbrite link, but it's Altadena to the Palisades and Ultra Marathon Relay. It's literally being put on by the Silver Lake Track Club and runners, people that like to run. It's from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, and they're meeting at the Good Neighbor Bar, which is 2311 Lincoln Avenue, which is by Super King, I believe. But it literally, there are people that are going to go. Yeah, there you go. Each leg, and they're going to go from the Altadena Good Neighbor Bar at 7 to Found Coffee, LA. That's the first 10,000 meters. Then from Eagle Rock to Silver Lake to Makisupa, and then Silver Lake to Hollywood to Superba. That's to the 30K leg. The 40K is from Hollywood to the Tuscan Sun in Santa Monica, and then from the Tuscan Sun to Dimatasi in Santa Monica, so another 5,000. And then the 50K, the final 5K, it will end at the Will Rogers State Beach in Palisades. So runners can participate as a team of up to 5 and either run the full 5K as 50K as an individual or whatever segment they would like to. It's not a race. It is a celebratory run to reflect, to re-energize efforts, to help. And it is actually a fundraiser as well, because you can donate and people can, all proceeds will go to the Altadena Mountain Rescue. 5520, it says up there if you get your ticket. Also the Santa Monica Fund, and it will be split on proceeds between Santa Monica, Altadena Mountain Rescue, Altadena Public Library, Santa Monica Mountain Fund, and National Day Labor Organization Network Immigrant Fire Relief Fund, because a lot of immigrants were affected as well. So it's pretty good.
You actually run from Altadena to Palisades?
Yeah, just like you can get on the streets from the ocean to here to the IE to wherever.
I've never thought of that.
You can bike it. You can, just like people will bike out to, Irwindale to the Santa Fe Dam, Gawardi area, and take that trail all the way down to the ocean.
Doing that when we were 9 years old.
Yeah, you can totally do it. So this particular event is Saturday for people that are road runners. That's what I call them, because I would be paving that pavement. But
1600 attendees hosted.
Yeah. So Silver Lake Track Club, but they're out there, and there's a lot of these track clubs that run, on the streets and stuff, and just like the bikers, but meaning bicycles, the cyclists that are always out.
Oh, it's starting at the Good Neighbor Bar. I mean, they're gonna start you off with drinks. So.
Where were you? Oh, you weren't on camera.
No, I wasn't.
Yeah. So from there in Altadena to Eagle Rock is that first 10K. So I think that's going to be exciting for those that enjoy running and will get out there and do it.
Well, just so you guys know, you see my raggedy headphones, right?
What happened?
I had to tape them up because they were falling apart. I just ordered a new set today. They'll be ready in an hour. I'm going to pick them up. I can't do this though. I had these for 4 years. They have the greatest sound. I had to go buy another set.
Bose?
No, they were Skull Candy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool beans.
$64. Not that $300 Bose. They got the same sound as Bose, but not the Bose price.
I don't know about that.
I'm trying to tell you. Some of these smaller companies can do the same thing. I remember a friend of mine took a Bose speaker, took it apart, got all the pieces measured, built another one, and started selling them to people.
Yeah.
Gotta know what to do.
That's true. So was that it on the announcements, Jamal? Ended with that last? Okay, cool. I didn't want to take us over.
I mean,
we over.
I know, but I meant some more.
Well, it's time for lunch. I'm going to do pho today.
Yeah, it's been a while since you had pho.
Yes, it has. Or the pizza I usually go to, but
now I'm torn.
Back and stride again.
Or pizza.
I'm gonna eat leftovers because y'all know I've been cooking all the time.
Yeah, I know. She got beans, greens, potatoes, onions.
We don't ever have. I mean, we only have leftovers for like a day because there's 5 over here at the crib.
Mine lasts about a day. Yeah. But you know what I made last night? So I cut up some skinless, boneless chicken breasts, the thin ones that you get at Trader Joe's. I cut up some potatoes. I cut up some red, yellow, orange peppers and some green onions from my backyard. And then put some garlic powder, some little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, season it all together. Put it in a big, glass dish that I have a lid for. And then I pour 2 cans of golden mushroom soup by Campbell's. This soup is so good. And, massage it in all that and bake it for like an hour or whatever. It's so freaking good. And it's a 1-pot thing, right? And then made some rolls. And so really, really, really good. Because Sunday I made them yams, mac and cheese, all that. I'm telling you, I make the best mac and cheese. I'll be like,
yams. Ooh, yams.
I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, when are we going to do our Tony Talks, our brunching with Tony or something day? I know Brian could come. Jamal, I know you be working, but I have Wi-Fi. You can bring your laptop and plug in and work if you want to. But we got to do that pretty soon.
We need to do the podcast from there. That way we can just.
That's what I'm saying. We'll do brunching with Tony one Tuesday on the Tony Talk show, and I'll cook, and you guys will be in the back, and we'll podcast and all that, and then y'all get to have some good brunch too at 10:30 in the morning.
And I'll be eating all up in y'all face too.
Tell me what you want. I'll either do like grits, waffles, potatoes, breakfast potatoes.
I think whatever you pick is going to be fine because we're not trying to be putting in those special requests.
I just love being in my kitchen and cooking, so I'll cook whatever. But if
I heard shrimp and grits, that's a beautiful combination to me.
Oh yeah, that's a no-brainer. That's
a staple.
That's my New Orleans side. So
that's a staple up in this year.
My kids literally will not eat shrimp because they're like, you made it too much growing up. Now my daughters will. My son is like, I don't want no shrimp and grits. I don't want no shrimp. I don't want because they probably had it at least once a week. So
it's starting to name it like bubblegum shrimp. I got some chocolate shrimp.
Yeah, let me know on a Tuesday or any other day. It don't have to be a Tuesday, but we'll do brunching at Tony's or something.
On a Tuesday.
Y'all come through.
Well, that ends our show.
I said, all right, well, toodles. I know you're going to go have your pho or pizza and whatever you're going to eat, Jamal, and I'm going to go have some leftovers.
Well, I'm about to hit the end of the game, and we're going to let the outro.
Everybody, have a good day.
We'll see y'all ending this 81st episode. And just so you know, we are the longest running podcast in America, the world, and the universe. Talking about out to the end. So, there you have it. Peace out.